Gachetab kolenjin hatochin mising ketaun tetutiet noton nebo Kass Mashinani betutab rani betut nebo kwoeng kasi tarikit 14 arawet nebo 7. Kainenyun ko Victor Korir, kitaunen logoiwek chetinyegei ak ribetab kalyet en emet ole kakomwa minister nebo ribetab kalyet en emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen kole kokenam biik che 20 chekimwaat kele kotinygei icheket ak chemarget ak ng'emetab kalyet nekobit en tuiyosiekab bolotet chekokiyai en komosta nebo Nyahururu koboto Kisumu en betut nebo Jumapili. Ng'ololi en komosta nebo Lokori en county nebo Turkana en igorto nebo konoretab bortab David Kipchirchir kibiwot nekomwaat kele ofisayat nebo prisons komwa Murkomen kole testai police ak operation nekim nekitokyin kenam ak keipchi kokwotik chekimen chebo kerkong'et biik alak tugul chetinyegei ak chemargosiek cheu chotok.
Na watu wanaitwa goons na kuna watu wanaitwa gangs. Hao wametuangaisha kwa mikutano ya kisiasa. Lakini nataka niambie pia wanasiasa msi-exaggerate sana kwa sababu ya your own political gain. Hakuna political side yenye aina wanasiasa wenye wanapanga goons. All sides iko na watu kama hawa. Pia lazima ukweli usemwe. Ile ilifanyika Nyahururu na ile ilifanyika Kisumu. Tusianze pia kujifanya kwamba ati polisi hakuna kitu wamefanya. Mnajua ya kwamba watu zaidi ya 20 wameshikwa kwa hizo both incidents. Watu 14 wameshikwa huko Kisumu, watu karibu 10 wameshikwa huko Nyahururu. Na wote wamepelekwa kotini. Sasa huwezi laumu wizara kusema ati wizara haijafanya kitu. Sasa kotini ipambane na wale tumewashika na waweke ndani hata miaka 20, ndio wale wako nje wapate funzo kwamba huwezi tumia vibaya vijana ama huwezi tumika vibaya kuleta vita kati ya watu na watu wenyewe. Kazi ya maana zaidi ni kuhakikisha bunduki zote zimeondolewa hapa Turkana na West Pokot. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie wakati tunaenda hapa Turkana lazima pia tuende Pokot ikuwe balanced. Na wale wakora wote walitoroka kutoka huko juu wakati tulifanya operation ya kwanza. Mimi najua wako hapa.
Tunataka hii kitu iwe continuous. Tuendelee naye hata wajangili wenye wanatusumbua kwamba wameambia msituni hawatapata time. Tukisema tutafanya tu siku 2-3 ili turudi, hao wakora wataendelea na wataendelea kutusumbua. Mimi na watu hawa nimeongelesha pamoja na governor pamoja na women na viongozi wale wengine. Tunaunga mkono na tuendelee na maneno ya operation hapa North.
Maneno ya usalama tangu uchukue hatamu umejaribu sana. Umejaribu. At least hii tunaweza toka Loda tufike Kitale tukiwa salama na turudi tukiwa salama. Ile tu kidogo yenye imebaki mimi najua utamalizia. Uzuri wako wewe ni waziri wa kuita viongozi na unawauliza kunaendeleaje huko chini.
Nataka niwapatie hakikisho. Ile elections ya 16 kwa Olkalau itakuwa ya huru na itakuwa salama. Wale maaskari tumeweka pale, tutaweka maaskari hata kama kwa police station nahitaji askari 100 tutaweka pale. Kwa sababu tunajua kuna watu wanataka kuleta vuruku ndio wa blame police na kublame serikali. Ule mtu mkabila na mpenda vita anaitwa Rigathi Gachagua alitangazia hata wenzake wenye wako opposition pamoja. Wakasema msikanyake Olkalau na msikanyake Mount Kenya. Hiyo matamshi inaishiria ya kwamba yeye alikuwa na mpango ya kuzuia wenzake wasifanye siasa kwa upande huo. Kwa hivyo ile investigation inaendelea, lazima ifikie pia matamshi ya Gachagua, tuone ni kwa njia gani alikuwa amepanga vita kupangia ndugu zake. Na ya kwamba nataka niwaombe wanasiasa, usijifanye una inside watu wengine alafu unakimbia upande unasema what has the government done. It's a shame that opposition leadership of this nature is existing in our country at such a time as this. And I have told the Inspector General of Police, regardless of any person's position and stature in society, kila moja mwenye anafanya mabaya lazima apelekewe hatua ya kisheria.
Akakobor kaimetab kei kandoik alak chebo chamaitab UDA kotinygei ak chemargosiek chotok kobit eng komoswekab Nyahururu ak Kisumu ole kokibar biik oeng ikoten alak chechang. Mwae kandoik chotok cheboto MP nebo Keses Julius Ruto kole magat kobit muitaet en emet aikochi boroindo chi tugul koyai polatet. Kasom police koipchi anan kasom ichek police koipchi kakwautiik chekimen chebo kerkong'et biik alak tugul chetinyegei ak chemargosiek chotok. Inyoru report nebo Isaac Kogei.
Kongolole kasarta nekaikoito pasisek chebo sugulishek cheterter eng Kisses constituency konerekyi kandoik cheboto MP nebo komasatak CPA Julius Ruto koboto MP nebo Marakwet West Timothy Toroitich boisietab neranik anan goons kowech tuyoshek chotok chebo kandoik alak.
We saw yesterday some activities and events that unfolded that we should not expect at this time and era. We've been talking about goonism, and in reality it is manifesting itself. It was unfortunate to see the shooting incident in Olgalau yesterday. It was unfortunate to see lives lost in Kisumu yesterday. That is not the politics of now and time, especially a country like Kenya, where we are enjoying democracy and freedom of expression and freedom of association. I would really wish to call upon political leaders, those who want to mobilize people on the basis of intolerance, on the basis of political coonism, on the basis of intimidation, that your time is over.
Mwae kandoichoto kole makonyolu kotakebaorionji kaimutik chebo biretabkei kobate kalyet ak yaetab boisionik eng kibagenge.
It is a time to mobilize people on the basis of ideas and ideologies and a political agenda of transformation. That is what we should be speaking about in this time and at a time where we are promoting and progressing development of our country. I want to call upon this one and to condemn in the strongest term possible that it is not possible to see Kenyans shed blood just because of political intolerance. It is not possible to see Kenyans lose lives just because of political intolerance.
Some icheket CS noton nebo ripsetab kalyet eng emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen koibchi kakwautik chekimen icheket chotok cheisuldoe ngemetab kalyet mising ko eng komaswek chotok chekisuldoe tuyoshek.
And I want to ask our Minister for Interior and the entire apparatus of security. I know you have enough intelligence. Right from our county, we've seen incidences of young Kenyans who are different ideologies politically, who have been attacked, who have been maimed, who have been caused injuries out of political intolerance. And we don't want to agree on this one and keep quiet. We must speak about this and ask political responsible people and the security policy makers and the security apparatus rise up and protect Kenyans. It is our duty to protect Kenyans and allow freedom of expression. Wacha tushindane kwa siasa na maendeleo.
Siasa tusiweke kwa roho. Mheshimiwa Mandago juzi alitueleza ya kwamba siasa weka kwa lungs so that ukibreathe itoke nje. Juzi mliona kulikuwa na mgwaruzano kidogo namna hii sehemu hii. Juzi mliona huyu jamaa rafiki yangu CPA alikuwa na vurugana kidogo na Sudi, lakini wazazi wakasema washikane mkono, wakapiga magoti, wakafanya kazi, sasa wameshikana vizuri. Hata juzi mliona kulikuwa na Mandago kidogo namna hii na Murkomen na Mandago. Juzi Kaptagat brokers wa siasa walikwama na walishangaa wakati walipeana hug, kuendea asak huko Kaptagat tuko. So watu wakashangaa kwani siasa inafanyika namna gani? So viongozi wa nyumbani, hii barabara imeua watu wengi sana. If there is no other reason ya kupea William Ruto second term, the road from Nairobi, Rironi, Mau Summit, Eldoret mpaka Malaba is enough kupea William Ruto 2 term aweze kuongoza nchi hii.
Kongetika taonitab Eldoret eng county nebo Uasin Gishu logoiwekab emet nebo Kass kainenyu ko Isaac Kogei.
Anguni chitab kolenjin ketokchingei ofisik cheechen chebo kibagengeit noto bo IEBC en Anniversary Towers taonitab Nairobi ole kinyoru ngalalet nebo ngecheret en commission noto kerasta setekon kololak siriab logoiwek komiten ak kandoik chebo police en emetab Kenya kongololi icheket akobo lewenisiet nemingin netetat keyai en tarikit 16 nebo arawani.
Accreditation badges. So anybody who does not possess an accreditation badge should not be seen roaming around our polling stations. The police, the security will take action and our officials will take action. So in that regard, in the last by-elections we conducted in the country, in Mbeere, Malava, Kasipul, Unguja, Magarini, the commission observed a phenomenon that is very much disturbing. There are some Kenyans, whether politicians or non-politicians, who purport to behave like super agents. and therefore they come to our polling stations and try to disturb the peace or the peaceful conduct of the elections in those stations. We want to state categorically here that we will not allow anybody, whether it's a senior politician or a leader in this country, who has not been cleared and accredited by IBC, to come with their security or their supporters to try and disturb the peace at the polling station or even overrun the polling stations. We have asked the National Police Service and all security agencies to help us to deal with this phenomenon of super agents, who are mainly some of the senior politicians in this country. So we will not like to see that happening in Olkalau, and should it happen, we will take decisive action against those individuals. We also wish to remind that the public and members of the various political parties and supporters of the respective candidates that we shall not admit any person who is wearing a badge, clothing or symbol or any other item signifying support for a political party or candidate. The campaigns, as we have said, the campaign period ended yesterday at 6 p.m. So we do not expect campaigns at our polling stations when citizens are supposed to show up in a neutral environment to vote, cast their vote, and go home peacefully and wait for the results. So anybody who is seen in party colors or paraphernalia should be sent away from our polling stations, which should remain neutral from 6 up to 5 when we close. We also remind the voters that once you cast your vote, please exit the polling station immediately, and to allow other voters who are queuing the opportunity to also exercise their right to cast their vote and elect their leaders. So once you vote, please go home. Go to your comfort of your home or your farm or your shop and wait for the process to complete at 5. Once we close, the counting will begin in front of all the accredited agents and the candidates themselves. So the order at the polling station, the commission wishes to remind all stakeholders of the following legal provisions regarding the order at the polling stations. The presiding officer is responsible for conducting the elections at the polling station and maintaining law and order at the polling station throughout the process. And in doing so, especially for security, the presiding officer at that particular polling station is assigned 2 police officers who will be responsible for a radius of about 400 meters, square meters, which is the jurisdiction within which we conduct the elections. And therefore, the police officers assigned to the presiding officer maintain law and order. And therefore, we urge the voters in Olkalau to ensure that they respect our polling stations, they respect our officers, and that they follow their instructions on how to conduct themselves while they are within the polling stations. And therefore, within the polling station, anybody who is engaging in disorderly conduct or fails to comply with lawful instructions of the presiding officer will be ordered to leave the precincts, and necessary actions will be taken to discourage such kind of conduct. We have, in each of the polling stations, we have put the rules there on display. So we urge the citizens and the voters of Olkalau to read, to familiarize themselves with those rules, and make sure they adhere with those rules. So the presiding officer is in charge and will take any necessary lawful action to secure the polling station and to ensure voting proceeds peacefully and uninterrupted and until it's closed. So those people who sometimes are inclined to try and storm any polling station, just be warned that action will be taken, because we'll have adequate security protecting every polling station and allowing citizens to come and cast their vote peacefully without any disturbance. terms of security arrangements, you can see the IG is here with his 2 deputies. We have the DCI. They will speak more about the security arrangements for this to secure the elections, to ensure that there's peace, there's tranquility, and the voters of Olkalau exercise their rights peacefully to elect their leaders. So, as a commission, I would like to thank the close collaboration we've had with the National Police, with other commissions present here, including National Cohesion and Integration Commission, to ensure that we make all the necessary arrangements, including security, so that the by-election in Olkalau succeeds. So I'll allow IG later on to speak on the security arrangements in place. But we, as a commission, would also like to note that, with concern, that there have been incidences that have raised a red flag and concerns to us as a commission as we carry out our mandate to facilitate Kenyans to elect their elected representatives. We have seen situations where, in some cases, goons are present in our electoral areas, are mobilized to intimidate and to disrupt the peaceful campaigns and the peaceful business of the people in those affected electoral areas. Olkalau has not been spared either. There are those reports of incidences of goons roaming around, and of course facilitated by some of the actors or players. We wish to call upon all those people, political parties, the candidates themselves and their political supporters, to refrain from any acts that will constitute violence and a breach of the electoral code of conduct. Because we want this election in Olkalau to be the most peaceful and the most successful, that is conducted in an atmosphere that will allow a credible, free, fair, and transparent elections to happen in Olkalau. The code of conduct, ladies and gentlemen, will continue to be enforced. As you have seen, in the last few days, we have summoned some of those politicians who have been accused of engaging in some electoral malpractices. We have taken action on some of them, including fining some of them and requesting them to again sign the political decency code with us. Other cases are ongoing, and we will be updating the nation on what actions we are taking. So the Election Code of Conduct Committee is still in place. It will work until after the election has been concluded and the results announced. So any breaches of the Electoral Code of Conduct, we urge the public to report to the Commission so that we take firm and stern action against those perpetrators. So, as I conclude, in terms of results management and declaration, after the close of the polling stations at 5 p.m., all the presiding officers will commence the process of counting the vote in front and in full view of agents, observers, and the media. I believe you'll be there as members of the fourth estate to observe what's happening and to report. This counting will be done. The ballot boxes will be opened. The ballot papers will be counted and the results tabulated at each of the polling stations in an open and transparent process. And to enhance transparency, the agents present will be allowed to take photographs of official result form 34A. Let us distinguish what I said before. Your ballot paper, the one you mark as a voter, that is sacred, and it's secret. I've said sacred, and it's also secret. So that is the document that we do not want anybody to take pictures of and circulate. But where we tabulate and record the results, that is from 34A, agents can take pictures and send to their candidates or their political parties. A copy of the results form That same Form 34A, a carbonated copy, will also be pasted at each of the polling stations. Whether it's in a classroom, it will be pasted on the door of that classroom for everybody to see, because there's nothing we are hiding. It will be as transparent as that. Returning officers will thereafter receive the results, that is at the constituency tallying center. They will verify, collate, and announce the constituency level results. So I know results will be known mostly by the party agents and the political parties. But please do not declare yourself the winner or your candidate. It is only the authorized officer, in this case for Olkalau, the returning officer, who will declare the winner in the presence of agents and accredited observers. So as I conclude, in fact, on the issue of the results, members of the public and the media as well, you can access the results in our public portal, which will be accessible to the public. You will click as we upload the results online. You can be able to follow the results and tabulate for yourself, so that you know that what we are doing is a transparent, accountable, free and fair election that will meet the highest standards of credibility. A call to action as I conclude. The Commission calls upon all polling officials in Olkalau to discharge their duties with integrity, impartiality, and full adherence to the Code of Conduct. And we are also telling you that we do not spare our officers who engage in any misconduct, who commit any election offense. Such officers will be arrested, investigated, and prosecuted. So the law is very clear, even to ourselves as officials that conduct these elections. Further, we urge all stakeholders, including political parties, candidates, agents, the media, and respective voters, to respect the law, uphold peace before, during, and after the polling, and refrain from any actions that may compromise the secrecy or integrity of the vote. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are my remarks and a briefing to the nation, and particularly to the people of Olkalau. And I thank you for this.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just go straight to the message that we have from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. Fellow Kenyans, I speak to you today with a sense of urgency. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has with growing concern been monitoring a disturbing escalation in political rhetoric characterized by ethnic profiling, inflammatory utterances, incitement, and language that demeans, threatens, and dehumanizes fellow Kenyans on account of their ethnicity, political affiliation, or region. These developments, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kenyans, threaten to undo the hard-won peace and unity that Kenyans have painstakingly built over time. As the country moves into an increasingly charged political season, the Commission notes with alarm the disruption of political and public gatherings, attacks on citizens and leaders on account of divergent opinion, and the deliberate use of coded and overt language intended to stir up ethnic hostility. Left unaddressed, such conduct carries the real risk of igniting violence, displacement, and loss of life, as this nation has painfully experienced before. This is not normal politics. It is conduct that the law calls hate speech and ethnic contempt, and it carries real criminal consequences, including fines of up to 1 million shillings and jail terms of up to 5 years. The Commission is watching, and where the law is broken, we will act without fear or favor, regardless of who is involved. Kenya's diversity is a source of strength, not division. The Commission appeals to our leaders at every level and every sector. Your words carry weight. Use them to unite, not to divide. No cause, no campaign is worth a Kenyan's blood. We appeal to every Kenyan to refuse to be incited into division, reject politics of hatred and rhetoric of contempt, and embrace dialogue, tolerance, and coexistence as a foundation of our shared future. Do not let anyone use you to attack your neighbor because of their community or their politics. It is incumbent, therefore, upon each one of us, fellow Kenyans, to actively promote peace within our spheres of influence. The Commission remains committed to working with other constitutional commissions, independent offices, the National Police Service, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the judiciary, political parties, faith-based organizations, the media, civil society, and all Kenyans of goodwill to safeguard the peace, unity, and cohesion of our nation. We are a unique nation with all the communities that must coexist as we have done before. Therefore, let us embrace civility and disagree, compete, and speak without destroying, dehumanizing, or inciting one another. Kenya deserves better than the politics of hatred. Let us choose peace. Let us choose one Kenya, one people, with one shared destiny. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Naipoa.
Thank you very much. My name is Commissioner Ken Williams Nyakomita from IPOA. Ideally, on the previous occasions, we've witnessed and seen a lot of challenges in terms of restraint by the officers when it comes to either public order. And as an authority, we are very keen in terms of ensuring that our officers actually work in adherence to the law. But also to the public, we also have to actually ensure that we also support the police, because ideally the key role or the main role of the police officer is very clear: protection of life and also on property. But if you don't give them this particular support, then we'll actually have a lot of challenges. We don't want incidences whereby IPOA is called upon to either investigate or follow up cases which actually arise either by malpractices. But we are sure that our officers have been on the ground and they have been actually monitoring, and also on the same day, the officers will actually be on the ground just to ensure that there's also a force that is actually, there's no excesses that is used, but also the officers have also been communicated, and also we've had an engagement with also the police to ensure that the officers will be deployed, also deliver as per their mandate. So what we are requesting even to the media, that let us ensure that also we unearth the malpractices that are coming on board that may also interfere with the officers, so that we don't actually be in a situation whereby we see the officers are being either being fight or being stoned or being fought. We've seen whereby a situation whereby officers are actually end up being injured in such situation. We are not looking forward for such incidents. But as an authority, we assure the public that we'll be on board to ensure that each and every incident, if at all they will be there, which we are not praying for, are captured and also reported. And also the public can also report these particular incidents to our authority through our free, toll-free, that is the 1559, and act on them so that they don't actually take law into their hands. Thank you.
ESCC, 2 minutes.
My name is Vincent Okongo, Director Preventive Services of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I would like to say that yesterday the chairperson of the ESCC, together with the CEO, addressed this issue of voter bribery very clearly. and sent a very strong message to those who are engaged in this particular malpractice that when they are found out, they will be investigated and booked and taken to court accordingly. So mine is to reaffirm our commitment as a commission to ensure that we will work within the multi-agency framework that has been set up to ensure that any form of voter bribery, or for that matter, any unethical practices are not what I would say that any unethical practices is not entertained whatsoever. And therefore, we want to appeal to Kenyans, members of the press, and anybody of goodwill in this country to ensure that you report any form of corruption to EACC through this toll number 1551. Please report to us and we'll take appropriate action as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Finally, IG.
Thank you very much, the Chair, IEBC, all the IEBC commissioners, all the stakeholders present with us here this afternoon, the members of the fourth estates, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity first and foremost to thank the IEBC chairman and his team for organizing this event. It's a timely opportunity to speak to the people of Olkalau and the nation at large and update all the security on the security preparedness for the Olkalau by-election scheduled to take place on Thursday, 16th July 2026. This briefing speaks loudly to the multi-agency approach, the one government approach that continues to define and serve us very well. The National Police Service, which is to update Kenyans on the exercise before us, as the Inspector General of the National Police Service, mine is a message of reassurance and an affirmation that the people of Olkalau are expected to exercise their democratic rights in a free, fair, peaceful, secure, and credible manner, as guided by our Constitution and the laws of the land. May I now briefly speak specifically about the security preparedness for this by-election. Firstly, we have over 1,000 police officers deployed to ensure that the by-election is adequately covered. Number two, to break it down further, the 114 polling stations in Olkalau have adequately deployed with police officers going by the standard deployment procedures. This means that we have a minimum of 2 police officers per every polling station. Their work shall be to safeguard the voting materials, the voting process itself, while offering adequate security at each and every polling station, ensuring the electoral officials perform their duties well and unhindered. Additionally, there are riot standby teams deployed at all polling stations. They comprise of not less than 14 officers at each and every polling station to ensure steadfast and robust security coverage. Further to this, there are specialized teams that have been deployed to give an overall and unbreachable security ring as follows. I have deployed 4 platoons of the General Service Unit officers. I have deployed 4 platoons of anti-stock theft unit officers. I've also deployed 4 water cannons. Sufficient deployment from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, whose mandate shall focus on intelligence gathering, investigations, arrest, and prosecution of any party or individual or individuals involved in any electoral malpractice. Finally, I reiterate that the National Police Service shall remain steadfast during the by-election process, ensuring that a guaranteed safety, security exercise is carried out where the people of Olkalau have a chance to exercise their democratic rights in the best way possible and in an environment of peace and security. And to our young people, my message to you is that do not allow yourselves to be misused by anyone to disrupt the voting process in our Karao. As I have said, the National Police Service will be there, we will be present, and we will not allow any form of disruption. So anyone who is intending or who is for that direction of interfering with the electoral process, we will not allow. I thank you.
So you thank them.
Ladies and gentlemen, washaamua kwamba hawatojibu maswali. Navyojua uwezo
There are stories that make the heart race. Where love is born in the most dangerous moments.
Ali was actually Poyraz Ali.
Each secret can destroy everything. Love. Passion. Power. Lies.
It's not the first time you let me down. It was my mistake for trusting an idiot like you.
The dramas that make you feel everything. Catch the sizzling episodes of Sins and Roses at 4 p.m, Domenica Monteiro at 5 p.m, Be My Sunshine at 6 p.m, and Avenida Brazil at 7 p.m, Central African Time. Only on Novelas Plus.
Kasarta age tugul ko kaitar boisiengung.
Atinye insecurities en agenge nochome.
Eng kila koskoling anget ale imite imunyi ak ibongoni boisiet nebo mutai. Kero, meboekan amu amiteu akobo inye. Aibun tetutyetab kastenikyok. Kila Jumatatu akoi komut kasi. Sikongetkei sait 11 akot sait 12 ak kebeberyat. Eng yutok aibun tienwogik cheiboiboin. Ak nesire tugul ko tienwogik cheistoun stress. Omite ak anendet Cherotich.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Reconnect GoTV Yako for only 999 shillings today. Only on GoTV.
Hiya, 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 hiya! Kelenjini mashabik chechoget kasta ibwati ingele komi tienwogik chukibo kenyu chilani kas kole kounio kasoki nemwoyo
Anyigekab chuboit ko setemisote ongigilge barnotik akemisotoni tuguchutok kibo keny bo komonut weleye batongo ng'ale tugukab chumbek.
Haya, keteste nonio
Machale nananyune nekikichomdosi
Angle checham ko changme noni
Kulwenyo ndindireni kolyelke kolbek tamboribe boisiet komwochi lagokchwak
Kora kemiten kilongu tienwogik alak chechuten kas taibwoti yani Heshimu Ukuta kou noniso
Changoteni lagok kolele
Eva asany anyin kasit keba akewek. Meutien kasta iwoti Shimo Ukuta mara moja Jumatatu agoi komut kasio ak Daktari Stone Koitande Sabe Kass FM amun Kim Notenae.
KALRO ko research institution ne developing technologies chemi crops chemi ngalekab crops ak ngalekab tuga kitinye kimi emet tugul ako kimache kemakan sure kele kakiboisien shirikait nebo serikali keinwan ngalekab kilimo chebo emet ak sana chebo gaa. KALRO ko research ngalekab minutik chebo crops. Ako kasinyo nekitoben nguni eng site nebo Rift Valley ketinye center ninyo nemi Naivasha neborien ngalekab soils. Tuga tugul chebo soils kuanzia mbegu akoi ngalekab transfer nebo soils komi Naivasha. Naivasha kora ketinye ngalekab ngokenik. I improved KALRO improved the chicken. Kitinye station nekoketau nemi Naivasha, but the main station kokomi Kakamega, lakini kokeibu a substation nemi Naivasha. So kasi nebo tu ak yekeba olimbo Perkera ketinye station nebo moingonik asali. Ako hii station zote koba tuga koba kumiat ko connected kulak KALRO. So komache mkulima ngalekab mbegu konyoru, kot komache ngalekab ne konyoru. So ngakakilen the station ko teleli ngalekab tuga or minutik ko KALRO. Amu KALRO ko dealing yak so many crops. Ko we toreti wakulima nguni konyoru kanetisiet konai kole atko mbegu kekoldano, kiriptano ngalekab magonjwa, kiriptano ngalek kindenoitano mbolea, kindena ki harvestane namna gani akeyachini what value sabkora konget mkulima konyor the maximum benefits. So mi ngalekab mbegu ako KALRO achek ko ngalekab tuga ko question about research ko kemekanisho kele ki improve ni data kulingana na challenges chebo climate, kulingana na challenges chebo productivity. Kemekanisho kele data nekibukoni kokone chego ya kutosha eng nekamuch kotoret familia. Mateken kebukan data nengilen kokaikochi kasi no lakini makonin chego. Kokonin hasara akimi. So amu kitobeni sahi kele kimache kilimo biashara. Without kilimo biashara then mkulima anaumia. So kineti achek kimache kenet mkulima koelewan njia nemoe konyor benefits kupitia shirika ya serikali kama KALRO. Au KALRO ko iko tayari kabisa kutoret mkulima from every sector nikimi. So mache asome wakulima chebo chicho komekanisho kole kakiwaken tugul katembelanchi station ninyo kateb maswali kakol mbegu chebo certified kangololchi scientist nebo technology. Amu sahi ketinye technologies che ngetoben achek wana science kele ngu technologies chemuch kotoretech mkulima komutech kongete sahi akoi karon eng ngalekab problems. So asome kabisa kwa unyenyekevu biikab kaa keboisien shirika nei nebo KALRO. Okay. Kasome wakulima kora chebo ngongen achek biikab chekibunu South or North Rift kekole bandek kwa wingi. Mahindi ko mainstay ninyo. Ngakache kitoreti nguni kele wakulima onge diversification, ongekol kawek, ongekol chaik, ongekol avocado. Lakini amu tekikole bandek kwa wingi. Mi kitage koroitage nekile aflatoxins. Koameche asom ale aflatoxin ko ya akoya kabisa amo aflatoxin kobunu bandek chemakima bandek chekakonor eng store komait moisture nebo 13%. Konget bandek kae konyoru tuguk alak chekile moles. Ko tos moles ko chemekoni yebekenga kokochi chito kitake nekile aflatoxins. Ko aflatoxins wasayansi kikotoben kochikil kole these aflatoxins kotinye relationships ak korotwek chikokomong chemamukeelewan moja kou cancer. Komakimeche kele correlated lakini sana tukuchoe ko tukuchoe komongu because tukikiyoe kama wakulima komaketinye hutu amu kikere mkulima ne kakokes bandek amu kikere sai wakati wa kupanda komi ngalekab ropta ako kesoe kele kongoi amu kakorobonji bandek ko sana ko bandek alak konunsot nekatakiwirto ken netaban kole mkulima kanyan anget bandechu kanyamikisen kidogo sikwalda matakonai mkulima kole bandechu koyach kochebe koroito ako chemi bandechu koaldojini siro ko siro ini keibe bandek Nairobi, keibe bandek Kisumu, keibe bandek kila mahali ako bandechu keng'oe kekwany kwam lagok cho chemi Nairobi chemi town ko karon tukchigei eng gaa kokakochutkei ak ne koroito. So koasom wakulima ngotkomi kiy neya kokemekan sure kele atkoyach bandek eng kaitang'ung koyach eng chitugul komatikany kekoite koba siro kaikai kemoiten ketoben kele mbegu choe bande choe kakoyakitu aisuru kakoyakitu amatakikoi teta because yekikoi teta kwam teta kokonin chego ilu chegae kowekchigei ng'alek chekayach ako kangiwirta ilokta bande chae koyach kokelen iistoegei lakini baadaye kakowekokis konyo kwa mkulima. So kwasome ngeyoe kilimo keteste kora some ethical part of it keiku wangwana samaseken keng'et tuguk cheyach kekany koba siro ako koya kabisa kosome ako kalro kotinye kokeyai research aketoben kele mi tuguk alak chekokechop chekikuren aflasafe ko aflasafe kentonochini bandek yo mi mbar yo karibu kakoboit kutung kidogo mi nusu kole ke spreitani kong'ete bandek kerchichu kile aflasafe konome koroyoe kile chekonu aflatoxins sakora konam komochut bandiande. So iye njia moja nekimache kele atko mache kewasilian ak kalro siboisien kerchichoe kile aflasafe ako eka moja koboisien kilo 4 ako kilo 4 choe ko siling 800. So mache wakulima ketoben kele ikombean 800 amuch iboisien eng mbar ak rabinik chemache iboisien kenyae koroito nekakobichit. Kakamwa ale kalro kotilin ak mimea chechang chekitinye chechang over 30 ako kitobenoti sai yo kibendoti kekweote report kitinye nganok, kitinye kasta, kitinye njuguk, kitinye marakwek ko kakitobeni kele ko tinye community nengwong ako kere ole otinye ka crop nomuch komean eng area inoe kewasilishan ke so that sikenyorun nafas kekonok mbegu chekiyae testing amo station ninyo kichop serikali ko structure in a way nemuch kendana kikichop ku station ninyo nebo Njoro ko keyachini kasi ngalekab nganok ak ngalekab oil crops minutik chekone mwanik cheu canola cheu kasta ko amu ngalekab climate change kakobichet mabadiliko nebo hewa kemoche kora wakulima kokol tugun chemelen chomo koba pamoja ak ngalekab climate amu climate kikere nguni temperature kikere ngalekab joto inapanda ropta komelen tekibone kinyakilen nyo roboni continuously in the season. So kimache kusoma wakulima koyai diversification koyai kazi ya kalro koyai kazi ya kalro visiten kalro centers visiten our open days so that konyor ngomnatet kakile ngomnatet ni mwanzo ya kujenga taifa. So kusome picture kuboishe serikali nebo kalro akimeche kemwochi kongoi Kass FM amu kokotoretech kabisa koleta ngalekab kilimo ako ngotoben kat kewoken tugul kazi ko betusiek chebo tai ko karan amu tutakuwa tumetajirisha. Kazi yetu ni kuhakikisha kuwa mkulima kakonyor report mzuri nebo kilimo ako kalro kotinye all the technologies ak tuguk tugul kotoret mkulima meumianen ka shida neo nebo kabatik netinye raini ako kufuatana na ngalekab mabadiliko chebo hewa kekere kuwa every year mkulima atkokolso mbarenyin loseni 30% to 40% chebo harvest no kongwan kabisa. So kisome wakulima kemakan sure kotoret konyor konetisiet kidogo on how to manage post harvest losses. Ako post harvest losses ko kemwoe kuni kibeti minutik eng mbar konget kokechelewan ikes welegende ak tukchekekonorte. Hiyo ndio tunapoteza amo much kuboria mkulima konyor mbegu nekaran kokol muda mzuri lakini wakati wa kebut kochelewan yechelewan koyakitu wakulusen mkulima revenue nekatanyoru. So kisome kele mi kitkalro kotinye technologies chechang chemuch kemanajan post harvest losses. Kitinye atkikole bandek ketinye small gadgets chetoreti mkulima konai kole kakoyam bandiande ngele kikono bandek mache ke store when it is 13% moisture content. Ngotko mait bandek 13% moisture content konyoru moles. So kisome bandek yekaikas inga ima ko 13% and then kekonor komie mekany konor mali kuna contamination ama contamination ko mekani sure kole bandek cho kainyoru kopetyo komatakaam. Kitinye department nebo post harvest management en kalro ko department noe kotobeni kole mengutikab mkulima ne nekikesen mengutik eng mbar ngo bandek ne nemuch kekese bandek nebo oeng ne nemuch kotoret mkulima keib bandek cho kongete mbar akoi store haraka komayakitu. Nebo somok ne nemuch kotoret mkulima konga tuguk chekae kenemu kiyai clean processing ko processing. So kitinye technology kulingana na crop atko bandek ketinye ngotko njuguk ketinye ngotko marakwek ketinye ngotko ne ketinye. So yo ki processing kemekani sure kele miano machinit nekaran nemuch kenget nemuch konga mengunotet no kakekes eng mbar. And nebo mwisho komuch ne nekikonoren mi lolonik chikokonor serikali chekile metic bags ako soso karan ochei. Tos metic bags yumayam bandiande or yumayam the crop hiyo crop masikini ko itaharibika and itakuwa hasara sana kwa mkulima. So kitinye technology pa kalro chumu kotoretin au kita nebo maana ko keelewan kele ne nekemoche in every stage yekaikas bandek or yekaikas the crop from the mbar. Achek kalro ko kipendi tai keyai research innovation ko makitile netyak ak biashara kimache kenai kele atko kikonor bandek kemoche ne keyai research keyai innovation yakaketar kekochi the private sector ndakimwochi serikali kele kekonor bandek kemoche kuni, and then kong'et serikali amu serikali komutu the private sector komutu wanabiashara chemuch keibu that technology chemuch keyai production so kong'et kenyor that equipment or that technology koityi wakulima chechang amu kalro ko about knowledge about the technology makiyae about the product koyae private sector. Kameche asomwa kole male kabatisiet nebo sai komelen kabatisiet nebo 30 years ago amu sai ketinye challenges chebo wadudu, ketinye challenges chebo climate kemwa kele ng'alekab temperature, ng'alekab ropta ak ng'alekab baridi. So amu kokenyoru those challenges kesome wakulima koboisie technologies ak new varieties chebo mbegu chekikoyai kalro kokikeyai tuguk alak chekele climate resilient crop varieties ak seeds choe chekokiketoben kele mbegu noe nekimuch kekochi mkulima komuch ko stamili ng'alekab climate, ng'alekab ukosefu chebo beek ak ng'alekab temperature ko atkikol ng'alekab the climate smart crop seeds to kosikyin mkulima ngakami challenges chebo climate change ko makan sure kole kanyoru minutik he can be able to harvest. So kalro kotinye all those climate smart varieties chekisome wakulima konyoru amatakekol the traditional varieties meet about no kulingana certified seeds ak seeds chema certified but kinyoru konia moja en mbegu chebo traditional kwa yekol certified inyoru 3 times of that yield. So mabagay iwachi kazi neo kazi tebo mbar amenyoru minutik kulingana na seeds. So kakisome kele ngeboisien the climate smart seeds chekinyoru en kalro ako kiboisie sana ak many stockists across various sites. Stockists kobwoni kwale mbegu chicho amuch koitu ako yemami oteben any staff nebo kalro sabkora keibu those varieties closer to the people. Kakang'alali kele kabatik cho ongetau kewal mawazo nebo kabatik mateketemenen bandek economy nebo sai kemoche keboisien diversification amu kitinye problem nebo climate change kitinye varieties kitinye crops alak chemuch ko survivan kitinye neu cassava ako cassava kotinye soko neo che so kakisome wakulima koboisie other crops mataketeken ng'alekab bandek amu bandek ko iman konech ng'alekab bandek chekibe lakini kitinye much ikol bandek ama survivan ke harvestan because challenge chebo climate but cassava nemuch inde kityo mbar akinyoru tuber nebo 20 kilos. Kalro ko kikoba tai ochei ng'alekab cassava so ak sweet potato chemuch kotoretech bandechu kora ko keboisien kerichek chechang ochei keboisien kerichek mbolea ko sikuisi kele not keboisien kemanagen ng'alekab pest keboisien kerichek kekonori ako kerichechu ko sana kotinye contribution ak mionetyok yani day to day challenges chebo diseases. So cassava, sweet potato ko very important amu ng'ering kerichek chekeboisien en kekole cassava ak sweet potato ko kesome wakulima ak all our people koboisie these new varieties. Ko kemoche ketoben kekwanyke keng'alal aketoben kele amune research kikonemu technologies ya kutosha ako the other side ko wakulima ko they are not reaping the benefits nebo the research. So kikikurse sekengalal sabkorok ketoben kele much namna gani researchers kotoret wakulima, much namna gani biikab serikali kotoret wakulima, because oret no much kengalal kakimutu chitugul konyo mesa. In mesa ini kora ko kakemutu specific areas chemuch keba taban akengalal kulingana na crop. Kat ko biikab bandek kebendi taban akele bichu bo bandek mi faida nemuch ketoretegei, ngot ko mami ko amune ne nemuch keyai. Kat ko biikab marakwek koba taban, o biikab so that ketoben kekwengei aketoben kele ne nemuch keyai tofauti to move agriculture to the next stage. So kwasome kora kele amu kikosomonyo biik moving from 20th to 21st century. Ko 21st century sai ko melen amu ngotoben kora ko kakereduce ngalekab workforce. Maketinye enough extension staff chemuch kotoretech komwowech report, komwowech kole kimache ne. So 21st century sai ko ke impresen technology ne. Okay. So kosom kakamwa kele KALRO kokotoi sabaritab keboishe artificial intelligence ke solve problems chebo technology koboishen data, big data. Data kikoyai science ngalek tugul kiko collectan data Kenya, Africa ak global. Ngot ko ngalekab bandek ko kikende ngalekab bandek sanduku moja. Ko this AI komache kityo konai kole shida yako ko ne. Konget kocheng report tugul kulingana na data nemi sanduku, nemi database. Akolechin mkulima shida nengu komeche komini. So kage reducing the challenge nebo information. Ako this big data komuch iboishen from the phone. And scientists kitoben nguni kele kakicheng platforms chechang chemuch kenget ne chemuch keboishen the AI. Ako we want to encourage the young people, the youth, go imprison the young, the use of AI. Kimache vijana chemi kokwa, chemi gaa, chemi tom konyor kasi, chikotore sukul, chikisoman kostoben kole kakiboishe AI ketoret mkulima, toret musasi, ketoret businessman, kekochi information. And I think the future nenyon baraini komi ngalekab vijana. Amu kakile wakulima chebo sai koyokosekitu. The average age nebo mkulima sai ko 60 years old. Ko kitobeni kele at komakemato kijana echu kobwa mesa nebo kilimo, then we may have another big problem in terms of kenyoru chakula chemuch kotoreti tugul chebo gaa. So ngeholdeni this conference nebo the second scientific conference, KALRO ko proud so much because we have achieved a lot ke ngalekab crops. Kitinye varieties chechang chebo seeds chemuch kotoret mkulima in yield production, go moving from small to high. Kitinye ngalekab so many tukuk chengalale ngalekab climate. Kitinye ngalekab infrastructure chekikitoben some of those technologies. So KALRO tinye potential kotoretok. So kakisome kele onge weisugei, ongebwa karibu so that ketoben kele tinye ne KALRO nemuch benefiten individually ako within your community, both on crops and livestock. Ak tukuk alak chebo the natural resources, cheu beek, cheu climate, cheu nyugunyek. Kitinye testing facility nemu kenai kele kementengung nebo mbar ko ne, tinye acidity or matinye. So kimuch ketoretin eng noe sabkorok ikol mbegu, ikol keswek the right varieties chebo keswek. So kosom mabwa tugul KALRO.
Kwenye Star Times, Bei Chini, Burudani Juu. Enjoy kids entertainment, the best football, Hollywood movies, gripping dramas, and so much more at fantastic prices. Buy the aerial decoder at only 1,399 shillings and the dish decoder at only 2,499 shillings. Say yes to unmissable entertainment. Recharge your monthly subscription today and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet for 1 full month. And enjoy Teen Titans, Ben 10, and Pokemon Hunters on Cartoon Network. Gangs of Manila on ST Novella, and Come Back to Me on Novella E+. TNA Wrestling and Blockbuster Hollywood movies on TNT. Download the Star Times On app to enjoy unlimited entertainment on the go. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Tos ingen ile eng sabet asenet ak nyasutik komuch kobiti? Insurance ko tuget netoretin iwegu rabisiekuk eng kasarta nekaak tugun chemakibwatyin. Ye itinye insurance kokonin kelchin neo yekenyoru kewelutik. Nguno kainai soman ak ikuye ngatutik ak arorutikab insurance nengung. Logoyondoni koibun Insurance Regulatory Authority IRA. IRA, bima bora kwa taifa.
Haya. Kelejini mashabik chechoget kasta ibwati ingele komitien wogi chukibo kenyu chilani gas kolei kounio gasogi nemwoyo
Anyigekab chuboit ko setmisore ongigilge barnotik agemisotoni tuguchuto kibo keny bakamanut waliye batongo ngale tugukab chumbek.
Haya, keteste nonio.
Machale nana nyune nekikichomdosi.
Angle checham kochong menoni.
Kulwenyo ndinire ne kolyelge kolbek tamoribe boisiet komwochi lagokchwa.
Kora kimiten kilongu tienwogik alak chechuten Kass taibwoti yani Heshimu Ukuta kou noniso.
Changoteni lagokolele.
Ego sanyi, anyingasit keba agewek. Meutien, Kass taibwoti Heshimu Ukuta mara moja. Jumatatu, agoi komut kasyo ak Daktari Stone koitande sabi Kass FM amon kim notenae.
Posten na Twitter, Insta ak inde Facebook. Kona ingwenduni kole impo wangu.
Tetutietab nenetesetai extra ko tetutiet nekibun mixed moto played by one and only our baddest DJ Redmond.
Ole Serem.
Ibwate kora kole eng kasarta age ketoche influencers, tiktokers, social media influencers ak chi age tugul nekose kotindoi talent ako meche kobartage eng mashabik.
It become red flag. We were green flag and it did not help us with anything. Can we just
Ongetuye eng kila Jumamos eng nenetesetai extra omitaganendet Jacqueline Arusei. Akiwatile mix anan tienwogik ko moto chebutun one and only our baddest DJ. Get to you every Saturday in Kass TV. Kasarta age tugul ko kaitar boisiengung. Eng kila koskoling anget ale imite imunyi ak ibangani boisiet nebo mutai. Kero, meboekan amu amiteu akobo inye. Aibun tetutietab Kass tienikyok kila Jumatatu akoi komut kasi. Sikong'etkei sait 11 akot sait 12 ak kebeberyat. Eng yutok aibun tienwogik cheiboiboin ak nesire tugul ko tienwogik cheistoun stress. Omite ak anendet Cherotich Toti. Eng ui tugul ole imite atojin missing eng tetutietab Kass kasari nekibun kabaibaitetab kei kobun tienwogik cheterter cheu bongo, afrobeat, amapiano ak alak chechang missing.
Keri ile kotuye ak anendet Cherotich Toche kila Jumamos kong'etkei sait 4 nebo karon.
Lene ureriosiek ketuitosi eng tetutiet nebo Lene ureriosiek elekitokyinigei ng'wondet nebo ureriosiek.
Course haikuwa mzuri sana, ilikuwa mbaya.
Kong'eten chopchinetab kei nebo rwoik chebo emetab Kenya kochopchingei labatosiek cheterter ak urerenik chebo emet nebo Kenya. Koboto kora ng'alalutik chebo ng'amotik chebo ureriosiek eng emoni.
So ameche alechi vijana tugul kaikai ongeboisie talenta chekikonech sikobit keboisie eng oret ne kararan.
Kila betut nebo Jumatatu ak betut nebo komut kasi.
Tetutietab netesetai koitun eng kila komut kasi eng Kass TV kong'ete sait aeng nebo kemboi akoi sait 4 nebo kemboi omita kanendet Jacqueline Arusei. Watileng netesetai ketindoi segments cheterter mite kebeberta nebo what's trending keng'olole akobo topics chekotestai ko trendan during the week eng social media. Aketindoi kora kebeberta nebo Talent Central. Kitoche tienik nyokobarta talent nenywanet akonyor support kobun akweket mashabik. Ongetuyen kila komut kasi eng netesetai omita kanendet Jacqueline Arusei. Inakuanga moto fire.
There are stories that make the heart race, where love is born in the most dangerous moments.
Ali was actually Poyraz Ali.
Each secret can destroy everything. Love, passion, power, lies.
It's not the first time you let me down. It was my mistake for trusting an idiot like you.
The dramas that make you feel everything. Catch the sizzling episodes of Sins and Roses at 4 p.m, Domenica Monteiro at 5 p.m, Be My Sunshine at 6 p.m, and Avenida Brazil at 7 p.m, Central African Time. Only on Novelas Plus.
Atashin cheptab Kolenjin kenyorwekab emet en koindo kobun ketesiet nebo Kass TV nesomanun lochitok kwane Victor Korir ole kitaunen logoiwek county nebo Kericho ole akomongee biik chebo bororiet nebo Kiek en county notok akomach serikalitab emoni kotoret icheket kewekchi mbarenikwak ak kora kikochi kakeranet asikonyor ichek meng'atusiek en mwaet kole kikitaban anan kilot icheket missing. Miten sinetab logoiwek Robert Siela ak icheket ng'alalet nebo agenge en agenge kong'eten county nebo Kericho.
Kongoi missing studio nebo Kass TV en nguni amiten en county nebo Kericho en betab raini kotindoi tuyet bororietab Kiek kobun county nebo Kericho ak kebeberwek cheterter ole amache sikobit kworor icheket kotinygei ak kamanutiet ak kit netokyingei en betutab raini. Itagat en ketesinoton nebo Kass TV mangen ale kikuren ng'o ako arorwech mangen ale tuyet nekotinye en betutab raini kobo kamanut netian ako kong'alalen ne.
Okay, en kandoik kekuren Joseph Korir ane akonetini ng'alekab in Cheli ak Kiek changelek ak Kiek ako bichuton ko 1500 ko tom kenai kele grupitab Talai kwata ako tom kenai grupitab Kipsigis Clan kele ata lakini tugul kemi kibagenge kesome toretet ketoretech en iman ko ikobur bichu komakitoret anan makosich serikali kong'eten komiten chumbek ko kikiseret bichu bomorinyun ak ane ko kimenye kapchain o kikireben o church. So bichu ko kikobur en chang. Mi biik kikiba olimbo emet ele kuren olungurwoni ko kingeten bichoton sa factory en Kericho. Nguno kibwatu kora kele bichoton kora kotom konyorun makao. Bichu koita konyor pilotishek. Lakini makikure makao. Inoni ko mbaret. Akikoekchini kongoi serikali amun tuguk chekororon kora en Kericho. Makilelen kele kakisas, amakilelen kele kiwekchini kongoi. Lakini somenyon komie. Kimache keker kele kakitoret ak chechu. Ak chechu ko ako kikobetyo lagok masomoso malian. Kotko ngunon kotebe kora kole kilionen. Kesome serikalinyon nebo Arap Ruto kele please William Ruto ker kushingong bichu. Ako kiweche kongoi en boisionik chekoyaen bororietab Kalenjin tugul ak en Kenya kwa jumla. Amu kikere rurutik chekoiyai. Lakini kushingong ak chechu ak kipsigisechu ak kipsigis clan ak bichu alak kinyolildos. Kemoe somenyon keker kele bichu kelionchin. Amun imbaret komakotesakse. Forest komi kou yeu. Imbaret kwendi amun kosibkwa population. Sigishe biik nguni. Ko kichome kora ngalekab environment. Kiririb Arap Ruto William environment en emoni nyonet bo Kenya. Ko noton ko echek kyokyi ko kikirib osnet. Okot sikacham akuren ko lule. Ko kakorib environment. Kemoche akechek kele kit supportenin en ngalekab kolsetab ketik. Ko ndakakesich mbaretab Samburu nemoche nekisome, nekikutunyi, nekirire. Bas, kibo ketestai en environment nekikere kele chitugul ko kabaibait en environment nekararan. Ako kakobur chito en environment neyamat kosir kobur chito akorire. Kekere
en kun komangen ale omenye ano ako mangen ale tos korosub ortinwek chenen mara chebo osub ngatutik koker ole komuch oityi serikali nenoto.
Bichu choket ko kikobagel alak chemiten chelimo koita komiche kikikoi pilotishek lakini manyor. Kesome kora bichoton kele nyolu ketoret kora bichoton keker. Echek alak ko kikebe kou ngunon biikab olin bo olungurwoni. Komi biik kikiba olungurwoni chekibo kapchainen saosa. Ak kobur en oloton kora ak Bugara. Matinye taitolit kibo kobur kito en mbarenikab biik. So kesome serikali keker kele kilionen asikobit kesopchin kotab okiek.
Tos ortinwek nguni mara chebo ngatutik en nguni osirchi baronok serikali asikotoige tetutichoto.
Okay, ko kisubot en serikali ko kikeker kele mi mbaret iman nemiten en Samburu. Ko ngap ko kikisubot mbaran kot keker kele miten keker kele takikonech mbaranaton. Okay, komi Senate en Senate bunge nebo Senate en Nairobi. Ko kokeker kele koketep kele mbaretab Kipkoech Arap Chumoi kusome mbaranaton bo Samburu. Amun kinde bunge Senate en bunge. Kemoe kele kakisubot any oranaton keker kele kakikonech haki nenyonet nebo Kipkoech Arap Chumoi ak temikab yuto.
So en kora kemi ak chito agenge sinwagit kityo teino akuroyoki arorwech kikuren ngo ako tos ne sameng serikali en betutab raini.
Konetik ko kekurenon sai Arap Siongok ab Samburu. Ako neo nea. Lemi ngekinya kecham mbarenikab forest korun meja minakte nyo kerotin owero. Aya kita chobok kokenamchigei lagokab kipsigis en kipsigis. Ako kit nekokosababisha zaidi hasara nekokon zaidi kampunit nebo Brown. Nanda neo neketinye kokakertate barabara mamie lekekere olda tugul. Ak chobok chelale. Inyoru asikarindet ne
Chitab Kalenjin en pichainik chotok koituch ng'eten taonitab Kericho en oret nemakararan kobaten inyoru ripot notok en kandoikab emet chemiten tai. Ketestai kakomong alak en MPs chebo chamait nebo UDA akomwa kole makat en ofisekab ribetab kalyet kole kamuch koboryo ak biik alak tugul cheibu boryoshek ak chemarget en tuyoshekab polotet chenotin ko goons. Kamwa icheket kole imong'u kole wendi konyoru kabelisiet chamaitab UDA en lewenisiet neming'in nebo Olkalau. Kinyoru report notok en koindo.
William Ruto amejipanga. Nyinyi tulieni muone William Ruto akiendesha serikali yake. Nyinyi mtulie muone vile William Ruto anaendesha kazi ya Kenya, kuunganisha wa Kenya wote, kuanzia upande wa North Eastern, kuanzia huko Coast, kwenda huko Kisii, kwenda huko Nyanza, all the tribes of this country. William Ruto ana agenda ingine, agenda ya kuunganisha na maendeleo kwenda every part of this country. Kwa hivyo tunataka amani. Watu wa Olkalao mkienda kufanya hiyo election muwe na amani. Na wenye wanaleta shida kwa wananchi tunawaambia the hand of the government is very strong.
Hata wenyewe wameshindwa kuamua nani ni nani. Mara wanasema Kalonzo Kashakwa, mara wanasema Kalonzo Matiangi na nini. Kalonzo tulishamjua yeye ni watermelon. Hata amekuwa deputy president, anafaa kwenda retire. Mtu kama Matiangi, mtu kama chief justice, former chief justice, huyo alifanya kazi mpaka akafika 70 years akaenda retire. Tunamwambia afurahie retire yake polepole. Na last hivyo tutamnyang'anya pension. Hatuwezi kuwa tunampatia pension na anakuja kukoroga watu. So tunataka kumpea notice, either akule pension ama achokode president. Mambo ni mawili, hakuna, you cannot have two of them. Kuna mwingine anaitwa Matiang'i. Mimi na yeye tulikuwa tunafanya kazi, anajiitanga Dr. Matiang'i. Mimi nilifanya bidii nikakuwa profesa, yeye akashindwa. Badala ya kutengeneza akili, anatengeneza mwili. Sasa huyo atakuwa president wetu? Huyo mnataka akuwe president? Bure kabisa. So sisi tuko kwa Dr. William Samoei Ruto na huyo ndio atakuwa president.
Wanaume ndio nyinyi ndio chanzo ya hii shida ya guns. Hatuwezi kwa kawaida kuona wamama tunapoomba kura hatuna shida ya kupigana. Ama nyinyi mnaona aje? Wanaume mnapoomba kura mjue mnahudumia kila mtu. Na zaidi hata sisi wamama tunaweza pata guns, lakini sisi tumeamua tutafanya mashindano yetu kwa amani. Na sisi nikiwa mmoja wao, hautawahi nisikia siku moja nikisimama kiti yoyote nikitangaza kwa kudharau ule mtu anaomba ile kitu mimi naomba. Nilipokuwa naomba kiti ya women de Baringo, hakuna siku nilikosana na mpinzani wangu hata moja. Kwa sababu kura sio adui. Kura sio uadui. Wananchi hapa kila mtu anatutegemea kwa mambo ambayo tunatarajiwa kuwafanyia.
Wapi tutam ya Rais William Samoei Ruto, tutam. Unajua sisi kama jeshi la rais wetu ameponya nchi ya Kenya. Nchi ya Kenya imepokea uponyaji kwa sababu tuko na rais ambaye anaelewa nchi ya Kenya inaongozwa namna gani. Kuna watu wengi ambao wanafanya makelele. Wale watu ambao wanaongozwa na mzee mwingine ambaye alikuwa one term, mzee mwingine ambaye alikuwa quarter deputy president, na tukamtoa bungeni kwa sababu aliokosa mwelekeo. Tukamwambia funga virago, elekea kule mashambani, aende akue villager. Kuna nguvu kwa jina ambaye unajiita. Wakati alikuwa anabeba ile sanduku ya blue, alikuwa anajiita villager. Na sasa hivi yuko kwa village akiendelesha mambo ya ukabila. Na sisi kama kabila la Kenya ambaye tumewekwa tuwe kabila moja under our president William Samoei Ruto, sisi hatujui mambo ya ukabila, kwa sababu hata hapa Baringo tuko na chams ambaye ni wa Maasai ama jamii la Maa na wanakaa pamoja na Tugen. Mimi mwenyewe ni mtoto ambaye nilizaliwa, gogo yangu ni Mtugen. Kwa hivyo sisi ni kabila moja, kabila la Kenya. Na hivyo ndio sababu tunasema Rais William Ruto ambaye hajui kabila aendelee kuongoza nchi ya Kenya na tumpe nafasi akue tutam. Unajua unapoenda katika labor ward, wakati mama anapojifungua, kuna kuanga na kelele mingi, nduru pale katika labor ward, wazee wakingoja pale nje kwa sababu mtoto anazaliwa. Na hivi leo kuna kelele mingi ambayo inafanywa na opposition kwa sababu mtoto Kenya anazaliwa.
Kasarata kakomongei minister nebo ribetab kalyet en emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen akomwa kole kokenam biik che 20 chekibwotyin kokotinyegei ak chemargosiek chekiborionjin tuiyoshekab bolotet chekokiyai en counties chebo Kisumu ak Nyahururu en betut nebo Jumapili. Kamwa Murkomen neng'ololi en county nebo Turkana kole en nguni kotestai operation ak ne police netinyegei ak cheng'et ak nametab biik tugul chetinyegei ak chemarget nebitu en tuiyoshekab bolotet.
Na watu wanaitwa goons na kuna watu wanaitwa gangs. Hao wametuangaisha kwa mikutano ya kisiasa. Lakini nataka niambie pia wanasiasa msi-exaggerate sana kwa sababu ya your own political gain. Hakuna political side yenye aina wanasiasa wenye wanapanga goons. All sides iko na watu kama hawa. Pia lazima ukweli usemwe. Ile ilifanyika Nyahururu na ile ilifanyika Kisumu. Tusianze pia kujifanya kwamba ati polisi hakuna kitu wamefanya. Mnajua ya kwamba watu zaidi ya 20 wameshikwa kwa hizo both incidents. Watu 14 wameshikwa huko Kisumu, watu karibu 10 wameshikwa huko Nyahururu. Na wote wamepelekwa kotini. Sasa huwezi laumu wizara kusema ati wizara haijafanya kitu. Sasa kotini ipambane na wale tumewashika na waweke ndani hata miaka 20 ndio wale wako nje wapate funzo kwamba huwezi tumia vibaya vijana ama huwezi tumika vibaya kuleta vita kati ya watu na watu wenyewe. Kazi ya maana zaidi ni kuhakikisha bunduki zote zimeondolewa hapa Turkana na West Pokot. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie wakati tunaenda hapa Turkana lazima pia tuende Pokot ikuwe balanced. Na wale wakora wote walitoroka kutoka huko juu wakati tulifanya operation ya kwanza. Mimi najua wako hapa.
Tunataka hii kitu iwe continuous. Tuendelee naye hata wajangili wenye wanatusumbua kwamba wameambia msituni hawatapata time. Tukisema tutafanya tu siku 2-3 ili turudi hao wakora wataendelea na wataendelea kutusumbua. Mimi na watu hawa nimeongelesha pamoja na governor pamoja na women na viongozi wale wengine. Tunaunga mkono na tuendelee na maneno ya operation hapa North.
Maneno ya usalama tangu uchukue hatamu umejaribu sana. Umejaribu. At least sasa hii tunaweza toka Loda tufike Kitale tukiwa salama na turudi tukiwa salama. Ile tu kidogo yenye imebaki mimi najua utamalizia. Uzuri wako wewe ni waziri wa kuita viongozi na unawauliza kunaendeleaje huko chini.
Nataka niwapatie hakikisho. Ile elections ya 16 kwa Olkalau itakuwa ya huru na itakuwa salama. Wale maaskari tumeweka pale, tutaweka maaskari hata kama kwa police station nahitaji askari 100 tutaweka pale. Kwa sababu tunajua kuna watu wanataka kuleta vuruku ndio wa blame police na ku blame serikali. Ule mtu mkabila na mpenda vita anaitwa Rigathi Gachagua alitangazia hata wenzake wenye wako opposition pamoja wakasema msikanyake Olkalau na msikanyake Mount Kenya. Hiyo matamshi inaishiria ya kwamba yeye alikuwa na mpango ya kuzuia wenzake wasifanye siasa kwa upande huo. Kwa hivyo ile investigation inaendelea, lazima ifikie pia matamshi ya Gachagua, tuone ni kwa njia gani alikuwa amepanga vita kupangia ndugu zake. Na ya kwamba nataka niwaombe wanasiasa, usijifanye una inside watu wengine alafu unakimbia upande unasema what has the government done. It's a shame that opposition leadership of this nature is existing in our country at such a time as this. And I have told the Inspector General of Police, regardless of any person's position and stature in society, kila moja mwenye anafanya mambo hayo lazima apelekewe hatua ya kisheria.
Chitab kalenjin choto ole gabe mi tikaitunen goendo ko magete sina Kass TV ne ko somonon ko ne Victor Korir.